What is the message of today's service? Well, number one, it's that you're special. Every one of us. Talia's reading was outstanding of the story. The stories from my grandson's library. I'd say it's his favorite book, but he was only a year last week, so he probably hasn't really made a decision on that yet. The second thing that we want to focus on in this service is that you become what you think about. Your thoughts are really important. And the third is that I want you to appreciate and understand that it really is better to give than receive. And it is in the giving that we keep abundance flowing in our life. So, what's your purpose, Ed? Right? Everyone has a special gift and purpose. Catherine Glasso-Figurito, she's a writer whose column regularly appears in the Saturday Register, said the following a couple of weeks ago. She said, God has entrusted you with extraordinary gifts and talents with which to bless the world. You have unique abilities and the inborn strength to achieve your goals and fulfill your God-inspired dream that's in your heart. God wants you to accomplish something great. He wants you to maximize your great potential. Romans 12:6 tells us, having gifts that differ according to the grace given us, let us use them. People only begin to fulfill their creative potential when they have a high degree of alignment in their life between their purpose and their God-given skills. Harmony resides with those of us who use and stay focused on our purpose and align ourselves with the flow of the universe. Instead of blindly pursuing your own ego agendas, we want to seek to remain flexible, open to new possibilities. Those who do worry less and rarely panic. What's your purpose? Bob Proctor, a master storyteller, asks the question, would you trade your life for your purpose? Would you trade your life for your goals? And after an appropriate pause, he concludes and says, that's in fact what we're all doing. We're all using whatever time we have on earth pursuing our goals. So we do, in fact, trade our life for our goals. He goes on to emphasize the point, don't ask if you are worthy of your goals. Ask if your goals are worthy of you. The most erudite scientists in the world today won't even guess what we're capable of. What's your purpose? You know that you're on purpose when things flow, when athletes talk about being in the zone, right? You know when things are happening instinctively, you have a zest and an enthusiasm for what you're doing. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're raising children, you're raising somebody else's children, you're a teacher, you were a former teacher. Doesn't matter if you're doing things up in front of people and getting lots of attention, or if you're doing things quietly, kind of under the radar, serving folks in other ways. Lots of ways it can be done. But you might be an electrician, you might be an architect, you might be a musician, you might even be a lawyer. You all have God-given gifts. You can tell if a person if it's a match made in heaven, because people who are on purpose, frequently you see them have genuine smiles, they're fun to be around. These people are likely on purpose. Do you ever think about your purpose? Or are you thinking, hey Steve, really? Like I got time to stop and think about my purpose. If you live my life, getting up in the morning, kids to take care of, part of the sandwich generation, whatever part you're in, and you just feel like you're on a treadmill, you can't keep up, and much less discern or take time out for discernment and give yourself really some thoughtful opportunities for reflecting on your purpose. George Bernard Shaw, interesting, funny guy actually, said a couple of things regarding this concept of thinking. He talked about how most people don't think. Not done often. Yeah, people have knee-jerk responses, people have they're on automatic pilot, but really thoughtful discernment. You don't have to say that he became rich and famous thinking just once or twice a week. And then he said something I thought was really good. He said, hey, if most people said what they were thinking, they'd be speechless. It's true. And this is really the key. Christ told us, as you think, so shall you be. He also said, even before you ask, I will have answered. So you can have confidence that he's paying attention. Psalm 139 verse 4 tells us, even before a word is on my tongue, O Lord, thou knowest it altogether. Ralph Waldo Emerson's version of all of this is you become what you think about. So if indeed our life results are in fact a large part determined by our thoughts, we better be paying attention to our thoughts and using well this unfathomable gift of our mind. As you think, so shall you be. This brief 7-word phrase has become my mantra over the last 15 years or so. Its creative power is really quite astounding. Thought, word, deed. This is actually the process of how we are the co-creators of our life's events, along with God. The idea of self-fulfilling prophecy might be a more familiar wrinkle to all of you, and are you surprised when things happen exactly as you thought they might? You shouldn't be surprised. I'm trying to think if I want to tell a bit of a digression here. This morning, one of the things I was worrying about, and there were a number of things I was worrying about, but this morning one of the things I was worrying about is, oh, I hope my glasses are going to be okay and they won't break. What happened this morning? My glasses broke. I'm washing and cleaning them up and the plastic broke. You know, that's what happens when you spend $1 on a pair of glasses. You shouldn't be surprised by the things that you think are going to happen when they really do. A popular phrase for people who are among the group that see the glasses half full is that if you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you'll be right. There's two supports the scripture's succinct comment, as you think, so shall you be. If then our present results of the manifestation of what we were thinking in the past, if you are unhappy with the results, this is so important. If you're unhappy with the results, you must change your thoughts. Paul in Romans said, 12:2, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.